Hello, welcome back to JSA TV and JSA Podcast, where we're covering the latest stories, trends, and innovations with leaders such as Karsten here from global connectivity, real estate, and the networks within. So I'm Candace Ipos with JSA. I'm here with Karsten Winther, president of EMEA for Vertiv. Welcome, Karsten.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're so glad to have you. So we'll just jump right into it. Vertiv just released news yesterday, very exciting news about your expansion in Norway to support Green Mountain's growth. Could you tell us a little bit about that news?
Yeah, it's very exciting, actually. We've been working together with Green Mountain for quite a few years now, supporting them with power solutions and cooling solutions. As a lot of people will know, Green Mountain is a super green co-locator that is actually taking all the advantages of green power actually coming out of Norway here. And this particular collaboration actually concerns a data center 140 megawatts that they're actually deploying as we speak. And we found it absolutely necessary to invest in the country, actually to invest in collaborations with Green Mountain. So we've actually established a company pretty much working around the sites that we're going to build. And we're hiring a lot of very talented people, all actually aiming to support Green Mountain in the build of that particular site, which is in a few phases. But it goes. Our relationship with Green Mountain goes back quite a while.
Excellent. Love to hear that. Great partnership with such an incredible leader on both sides. So I know you were also on the keynote panel yesterday about sustainable operating models. So is there maybe for folks who weren't there especially, could you give us a key takeaway from that?
Well, I think it's fair to say that as we actually discover in this event, but also in the past, obviously every player in the data center industry wants to be a corporate good citizen, and obviously Vertiv is one of them. We have released now 2 ESG reports where we're actually outlining all the efforts we are taking in order to obviously participate and take a responsibility for the planet and everything we do. And the latest ESG report is actually outlining a number of elements where we are specifically focusing right now. Obviously, there are elements around our products and solutions. There are elements around our people. There are elements around all our operations, elements around our neighbors, obviously elements around diversity, equity, and inclusion, and obviously governance across all of it. The report actually dictates and demonstrates that we have actually formed an executive council that actually is rooted in the very top of the company that helps us actually to ensure that we are following through with all those actions that we want to take. Obviously, with the new legislation coming into place in EU from 1st of January 2024 with the CSRD reports and everything around it, we obviously are already taking measures to make sure that we are paying attention to our carbon footprinting and actually are in the process of making sure that we will be compliant with the legislation that comes in place in just a few months. There's one element, obviously, which is very much around energy efficiency, which is something that obviously is on the mind of this industry as a whole. And we have taken not only just measures around our own operations. Examples of that is actually that we are now implementing and have implemented in some of our plants actually renewable energy that actually is supporting to run the plants. In our entire fleet across EMEA, a car fleet across EMEA, we have a lot of service technicians out there. Supplying and supporting our customers. We're making sure that everywhere where we can, whether it's an infrastructure locally in the country, we can actually enable electric cars. As an example, we are looking into how we're actually lightening all systems. So there's a lot of actions actually happening around all our own operations and, of course, around products and solutions and actually to try and help our clients, as it was mentioned yesterday in the panel. Also, they actually want to make sure that they comply with Scope 1, 2, and later Scope 3. And that actually does imply that they need to actually also take responsibility to demonstrate carbon footprinting from their suppliers up and down. And as we are one of the biggest suppliers in this industry, obviously we have a responsibility and duty to make sure that we're actually delivering that. And we are already in that process as well. Excellent. So there's a lot of things happening as it stands right now, and obviously a lot more to come as we move forward.
Excellent. So yeah, you mentioned the sustainability report that came out recently in May that Vertiv put out. Is there anything else that you want to talk about from Vertiv's sustainability standpoint?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, as we're a technology developer and provider, we spend a lot of time trying to identify how we can actually raise the bar of reducing carbon footprint and actually making sure that we are doing everything we can to actually preserve the environment in any way. And so some of the elements that we're actually looking into is also if we could actually find alternative materials to actually build data centers, and could be alternatives to steel. Currently assessing various materials. We had some great discussions yesterday with some clients who has also been on a little bit on the forefront of that, and we are actually probably going to do something together here. But it actually also encompasses making sure that we are, not trying to actually use absolutely more power than is needed in the data center. And we have solutions here. We're looking into cooling solutions, obviously now with a higher density coming with ANI, to try and find could there be alternatives to all these very poisonous refrigerants. Could there are other alternatives, ways of cooling? But there's one element which I think in terms of overall sustainability, which is very important, which obviously one element is in the environment, but a very important element is also around the S and taking social responsibility. And we're doing a lot. I'm actually spending at least once a quarter. I go to pretty much most of our biggest sites around EMEA. And we are taking a lot of action to make sure that we are taking good care of our people and their families, needless to say. We're actually formulating DEI governance and employee groups to make sure that we're actually sponsoring diversity in every way we can. In my own leadership, we have many different nationalities. So there's a lot of things actually happening within Vertiv, actually also to make sure that we are also paying attention to the S in the ESG. And of course, the governance, I think, are already touched. So it's very exciting times in many ways. I think it does demand a lot of responsibility. It does demand and calls for a lot of actions to be done. We've outlined a lot within Vertiv, and we're in a good way to actually make a lot of those happen.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Vertiv's such an incredible leader in our industry, and I see you all everywhere at all of these conferences. So, you're definitely a thought leader and also an industry leader. So thank you for joining us today on JSA
very
TV.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. And to all of our viewers, thank you for hanging out with us today on JSA TV here live from the ESG Summit. Happy networking.
Thank you.